We want to say again, welcome to the community engagement. It is a special time here this morning. This afternoon, wherever you are, you might be at 7 o'clock in Liberia. I want to say that it's very crucial and important that this new beat is just to talk about the issues in surrounding Liberia and some of the things that is more crucial that we give our own time as we posted this morning about our stand on finding probably coming up with justice against this the death of our sister uh, Sis Jackson in Liberia. So it's crucial, right? It's I'm on live. Hello, hello. Yeah, yeah. I will send the link. I'm on live. I'm going live right now. Okay. Yeah. So the question is, how do we get up there to with the facts that we lay in the foundation, the premise about human rights. And because human rights is a very tight issue, justice, equality for all, there will be a lot of fireplace in different sectors, organizations. People want to go on impunity because they have influence and because money generate influence. So our own way of holding people accountable is about what we sign in for. So if you're an organization of there, we want to encourage you as an organization that sign out for justice for our people in all part of life, because we all have this thing, and we all are responsible to take actions. It's not about one person, being responsible. So we don't hold ourselves accountable because one person is accountable. No, every one of us are accountable or should be held accountable for some of the things, the actions that we take in our organizations. So as we talk about the issues of human rights and responsibility, sometimes people want to politicize, and you got to be very not smart, but very careful about protocols. The level of where we reach as an organization, and very careful about the people we use, the people who want to be part of what we're doing, and training them, making them responsible. And we are not just looking for people who are probably in not prepared. Now, preparation is not about education. There are people that seems to be educated but not prepared. In other words, they're not people that prepare for this job. It means you want to get into something that you are confused about when it comes to how do you report, how do you hold government accountable, and you also want to work with political parties. Now, the problem is we're not, when we talk about holding people accountable in this field of human rights and promoting accountability, development, empowerment of the young people, everything should rest on the organization goal. And we're trying to solve problem in society. Every institution, remember this, that were created, maybe non-profit organization, go back to your article on incorporation, you're trying to solve problem that exists. So how many of us have solved problem that exists? Now, blowing the whistles, even down to any group can just rise up, and women can just say today, let's go, right? And let's go. That we're raising, we're going to raise awareness against domestic violence. Okay, you're trying to do something, right? But you are established. In other words, you are formed to prioritize. You are formed to solve problem. So, what problem are we solving as civil society leaders? Have we solved a problem? Well, sometime somebody will rise up and say, I'm solving a problem. But we can't be on the fence. We've been on the fence too long. That means we hide in the background as if we're more professional than people who come out to say, well, this is not wrong. I mean, right. This has been too long. Two things happen for people who hide in the background. Two things. Either they don't want for people to see them, who support them, who they put their hands in the pocket and trying to bribe them. in order for them to shut their mouth and not to be too alarming on some of the issues in some part of society. Another thing is they could be ready, don't want to be seen on Facebook because they have some repetition, and they want to try to not actually really want to be on Facebook because of some of the things that are going on. They don't want to get involved. But let's be very clear here. The fact that Facebook and social media have its own challenge or challenges are here, it is the only place, the best place now on earth that any hidden agendas, anything that you are not satisfied with, they can be exposed here on Facebook. So at the community engagement level, despite in the 5 years, we have been present on Facebook because this is the more relevant place that you can get your message over to the world immediately than if you are on the fence, in the background, carrying letter to the president and not even receiving response, and you just go in and at the end of the day somebody bribe you and say shut your mouth, don't talk again. So but if we as civil society, which we are a different group on an assignment, we are not one of the civil society that is sycophants. We only want to be seen diplomatically, probably to go to meetings, go to those big meetings, go there and showcase and have it. We had it for long, man. We've been having those things. We pass through all that. We go to meeting, we submit our proposals, we submit some plan of actions. Those plan of actions, some of them will only come to pass when you have a good governance. How do we have a good governance? When we hold people accountable, vote in the right people, and how do we do it? We got to mobilize. We got to teach the people. We got to educate them. We got to refrain some of the things here on Facebook. Our presence here is very important. The reason here is we can see even down to the ministry. People come out here to create content. They are not teaching people the truth when it comes to even the ministry, the gospel. If somebody comes here to say God is a woman, that's a content creation. You see that? So if you as a ministry don't refrain it and try to teach people the real truth, you're just sitting in a little building called the place, the church, then really you are not identify yourself as a church, but you identify a building to be the church. So what happens is that something happened to you. The same way with civil rights organizations. We want to preach justice, but we are not want to be held responsible to take actions about the reality of what is going on in our society. We No one can become an hierarchy ambassador or probably a secretary or any position in any country for the community engagement when they are connected to government. That means in the sense that when they are in the political party that is also confused and trying to play politics, we don't accept those kind of people in the community engagement. And that's why we're very critical on people who comes to the organization and want to say, oh, I like this organization here. We don't want to impress people. We're not here to tell people that we are the best. No, we don't want to tell people we want to do that. No, we want to say to all of us that this is the reality that our countries, our black people, every one of us, people of color, white or whatever in the world, have been going through some difficult time because of political games. In many countries in Africa, political games have destroyed the fabrics of our society. So community engagement is saying no. Brothers and sisters, civil society leaders, listen to me. You have been on the fence too long. Why were you established? Why did you go to the Ministry of Finance in Liberia? Why did you go to the State House in America or other places to say, I have the passion to do something, I want to help my community? Why did you go there? I want to advocate. I want to, be a promoting of justice and all of that. Because you want to solve problems that exists in your community or in the world or somewhere. How do we solve the problem when we tie ourselves to the people who create the problem? I think we need to come to have conscience. And that's what I posted up there. Even lawyers, it's about wisdom. It's just not about going to law schools. We go to the law. Look at the other guy who insult and the same way. Let's listen to this guy. Is he a loyal? So when you get loyal to an individual, you lose the significance of being a loyal to the people or for the fee that you rather went to school for. And that's what happening to many lawyers. The fact is the fact. When we come to this thing, ask God for wisdom. It's not about the perfect thing you don't know. It's not just about the money. The money will go. You're going to do all you do here on earth. It will vanish. But if you sell the people future for a piece of bread, they will point their hands behind your children. We see the reflection as alleged coming from the mouth of a man who believed to be one of the hot political men in Liberia against a father who had lost his life 41 years ago. Can you imagine that kind of thing? It's traumatizing to the family of that man whose body could not be seen. Our father was in the same thing, right? So it's painful for people to come out to begin to talk something in the favor of the same person. How do people see life? How do we justify if it were in that somebody comes out to say, well, I don't want to destroy the life of your father? You can imagine that. So now God is opening the eyes of Liberians to also see what is going on, what have been going on in the political landfill. We need to be very careful about some of the bigger group here on Facebook. Our person here, we are not an institution that just want to come here. We're not a content creator. No, never want to be one of them. We want to refrain content creators. I was listening this morning. I saw people posting about gaining, not even doing anything while we are posting lies. And I refrain the post. And that's what we are here for. Because I can see that when people are not in favor of a government, especially in our country, Liberia, they use the Facebook to lie. This time, I'm sorry. We're not going to give you a chance. As a political leader, just get ready to say, well, it finished. And that's what we want to educate our people because of literacy, because of Facebook and social media. We are just looking at Stanton to be someone who dictate to our country and lie on this Facebook. Spoon TV has integrity too. They have their own thing to do, but they are political. They're too much political. They're getting too much political. So we as civil society, especially with the community engagement, let us be very careful about these guys and understand what have been happening in our country and some of the things. If you go back and listen to some of the argument on these shows, then you will know now that Liberians should not follow none of them. In other words, some of the things they've been saying against government, all because they want to, to make this government or any government to be a liar, so that the thing in the mind that the Liberian people will always be fools to vote for criminals or people who is going to make the country go back to ridicules. Now, why civil society was formed? Why were we organized? I want for all civil society leaders. I'm going to be talking about this in most of my podcasts. When it comes to the church, I'm going to be asking people to build altars in their homes because most of us have forgotten the word church. When it comes to civil society, right justice, which the Bible emphasizes on, we got to understand it finished. Those lies that from the 80s, that people have been lying to us in Liberia, we need to open our eyes. We need to be very careful about politics because politics have destroyed our country. It's been too long. I was listening to one of the guys who is a little boy trying to talk about gaining situation and all that. Why? Because he's not understanding what these guys are doing. People who are criminal and corrupt record, you can be no closer to the presidency in Liberia. Why? We shouldn't give them no more chance. Because we are the voters. We are the one. We are responsible to make good choices. Our advocacy here is to see the people enjoy the benefit of their country. How do you enjoy the benefit of their country when you elect people who are greedy, who are corrupt, who have dubious mind, who can do anything to do anything to cause that government to fail? We can see what's happening. We see them. God is exposing people who have been cussing and talking against government that is trying to do something that no other government did. I want you to understand. For us, I don't want to get in politics. liking this party or that party. But I want to tell anybody that everyone has the right to look at an individual and know that their heart for their nation, it means to change things for the people, for the citizen, to see that things happen so that the ordinary people can benefit. That's the kind of government that every civil society leader, church leader, pastors and bishops should be embracing, not corrupt government, not people who want to see Liberia not achieving its goal. We are too old. When it comes to Guinea, we not need to be arguing with Guinea. Our Sierra Leone, thank God for the Guinean president. Thank God for all the presidents. They are very much diplomatic. They understand what to do. We, as common people, will fight among ourselves. But let us realize that we need to come back to ourselves and say, well, thank God for Liberia. In my book, Liberia, the Beginning of Africa, read the book, and I would actually be promoting the book to all African countries. Let them, even not only that book, let them go to Google and Google it. Liberia is just a beacon. You can't change it. That is the bottom line. You can't change it. Liberia is like a hero. Big countries, even though they stole lands, those lands, most of them will belong to Liberia. We couldn't fight. Liberia got their independence. We were not colonized. We were not on a colony. So, when people who I'm not want to say ignorant because they don't read, they fail to follow, some of the things that they want to know about their own country. So they want to respect other country, degrade their own country, forget about whether we develop or underdevelop. The reason we're not developed because we're speaking for other people and we got independent. Those people were colonized. People built their countries. So let me just call it short. Maybe when we say colonized, people don't understand. The Western world built their countries. For us, no. You started it almost like you can't, you want to be independent. You start knowing about woman business soon. That's how Liberia, that's a different years, 100 plus years, those countries like Ghana, 110 years before they got their independence. Can you imagine? Liberia sat on the United Nations table and advocate for the rights of all nations in Africa. So it is that kind of country that you are placed in, that kind of country you were born. Know your country, know yourself to be the light. So how can we keep being degraded? How can we keep being going backward when a president that we have that will be thinking to be and doing some of the things that we never saw in other government? And then somebody will come out and start bringing creating different political parties to think that, well, the people are stupid or the people will be fools while the people are looking around the world, the confusion of religious tolerance or intolerance, and they will be fooled to ever vote in anyone that is connected to any other religions that have intolerance in their beliefs. It's very unfortunate, very unfortunate. So Liberia being so peaceful, we need to begin to understand that peace must be maintained by means of maintaining the Asian landmark. Finish. That's it. Give everybody right. Don't have any problem with people. They have right to, the fact that you have right to do what you can do, but you don't have a right to destroy a nation that have a foundation. We need to come to that place where we teach people what we must vote for good representative. Forget about people focus on president, and now we have the one that God sent. The reason why sometimes when I speak about God sent on the side of my own experience when it comes to the discernment of the spirit and the reality that we see with this president that Liberia have right now, let us not be talking about presidency in Liberia. Let us be talking about representatives, because you can see some of the representatives. What are they representing? Who are they representing? They are representing themselves, insulting, and the only thing they do here on social media is to insult and just to go around committing chaos. Are you sure that as a person living in your community, do you want to see that kind of leader? No. Do you want to see a leader who, when his wife lost his life as a last, that would come out and start to confess and say some things that cause people to mind to be thinking and trembling? Do you want to associate yourself with such a leader, with a political party that have that kind of influence? Do you want to associate with those people? Why? Because they are confused people. They're going to confuse our country. We've been going through this thing for years. God is exposing these political people. My own advice to all Liberians all over the world: do your own assessment. Ask God to speak to your heart, because now God is exposing what kept Liberia where we've been backward. That a lot of people who call themselves senior advisors, who call themselves political advisor, or whatever they call themselves at the time, economic advisor, whatever, they have been very terrible, pumping in some things that have been political, and they're destroying the minds of people, making them to feed on Facebook, on platform, insulting government because, well, they fail to implement. They are corrupt. They don't want any government that try to bring us something for people to be accountable. They don't want to see that kind of government. You see what's happening. So people ask you open that, look, we at the community engagement level want to be neutral and want to be very frank that anything that has the country to come in this positive form, we support them. Civil society is the organization that support the government when it comes to good governance. It support the community, make sure that the community people are living best life. That is why we were created. That was why we are formed. Pastors and leaders, when we preach on Sunday morning, we preach that Lord gave, oh God, the government strength, Lord, favor, and when favor start coming, when you see it, then as a person who preached that same thing, what will you say? You got to be happy, because why? The people that come to our churches, they live in community to have electricity, to have water flowing in their homes, they have things going through, and they come to church on Sunday happily. But if those things are not actually happening, many people don't come to church. They can't sigh every time you're looking for money, no tie. We need to stop praying. Everything cannot be perfect, but civil society leaders, don't confuse yourself. We are being confused. Community engagement is like an umbrella organization that are going to remind or teach us the truth. Maybe we came to civil society because we want to grab, we want to steal, want to be greeted, want to join political parties in order for us to keep Liberia down. Look at those leaders who have been input in the political landfill. Look at how confused they have been. One of the leaders who running, we keep records on people because we want to know who loves our country. Go back and see how a political leader will be saying that this person will never come to power until they honor their dead body, but the person came to power. And this leader wants to be president too. Now, go back and check those tips. What will you expect from those kind of person who once said that honor their dead body, that maybe the president Baka will not be president, and the president is president. But this person now, they stay around and they want to also be president. Can you understand that? So we got to understand, to do our evaluations, go back to those remarks. Don't embrace people saying something because they come on Facebook to them, because they get money, they come, they gave you something. All of you go wear t-shirt, go because people hungry. You want to use the same poor people, use them, and to suppress them again. No, we don't. We are not giving people chance, especially in Liberia. No, those things should stop. We're too greedy. We have destroyed our country because of greediness, not love for country. No love for country. When we establish civil society, because we want to tell the government, look, government want to work with you. We want, to give our portions. We want grant. We want you to help us. We want to make our presence felt. We want to build schools that will lower the school fee for our kids. We want to advocate for people because people are being marginalized, so that there can be a breach, so that there can be a balance. That's why you tell government. But we want to buttress your effort, government. But we also want to hold you accountable. If you went wrong, don't get me right. Don't get me wrong again. Not because you are holding government accountable, so when good things happen, you don't say anything. Any civil society leader, I'm not, I can't apologize to say that, because that's a fact. Go and Google it as a civil society leader or as a church leader. If you don't affirm that the good things that is happening in any government in the world, and you only confirm the bad, ask yourself what are you ready to call in the ministry, or what are you ready doing the right thing as a civil society leader. So that's why you must not take side to live in the pocket of a leader. That means if the leader were leaders before and you live with him, or probably maybe you like his government and he was corrupt, or you are not confronting him because he will put money in your pockets as a pastor or prophet, whatever you are. That's destroying the ministry because you are not being very bold to them. You have not been very bold to them. You don't want to come out to say, "Oh, thank you, government," and the people that come to your church is benefiting, is happy about what the government is doing. Why it is true, not everything is happening that we can talk about here on human right and the rule of law that has to do with the demolishing of people's properties that also been politicized. We are very careful, and that's why we try to come. We post most time on Facebook because Facebook, there are a lot of lies that goes on here. I was just this morning more than 20 posts on Guinea as if it were real, and I resented all of them to be lies. So you see that we got to be present. We got to use the social media constructively. We got to use AI constructively because AI advances things quickly for us. In my 4 books that I'm going to be launching, The Code of God and the Church, very powerful book. The Essence of Human Rights, The Code of My Story, Liberia, Beacon of Africa. These are very powerful tools, and I think 3 or 4 other books which I'm not going to actually include in the launching, but they're going to be on sale. Now, we got to educate our people that very sensitively. We are losing ground if we are not careful as civil society leaders and our religious leaders. In Nigeria, we want to encourage our I don't know how many civil society leaders if we can in Nigeria, but I don't think we have civil society leaders in Nigeria. We are going to be confirming our ambassador, and they now to be an ambassador in it doesn't mean, oh, the person is rich, they got money, oh yeah, they're giving him money. Let us take that one off, because that where the notation have been in many organizations, and we are killing. At the end of the community engagement, we are there to create in order to sustain. We are not one of the institutions that are coming to being because we want to get rich, because we want to use the people to get rich. Forget it. Then don't come closer to community engagement. Just don't, because we're not going to accept that. And the reason why our president want to make sure that everything we do will be confirming our leaders, sowing them into office rights here on Facebook. They're going to be live and in person there in Nigeria, because we want for people to hear. You see, because in Africa, in Liberia, when it's time for us to confront our ambassador in Liberia, we're going to do the same. Whatever countries. The problem is because people are too probably, I don't know how to call them. Even if the person don't have a grant, even if the organization don't have opportunities, you don't have passion to do something, so you will only be waiting for grant. And what happens when the grant doesn't come? You die because you don't have the passion. On the community engagement side, forget it. It's a mission to fulfill, not a mission to die. Want to encourage us, because that has been the problem, that many political leaders, knowing that civil society have a greater role to play in government, in pursuing our community's needs, so they suppress us, they suppress the church, they make us to be nothing. There's no grant in Liberia. It's very impossible in Nigeria. It's hard to get grant. It has to be accessible. Not like in America. You can, once you have 3 years, you got opportunity, you connect to people, you got resources, you can have vehicle. It's not about in Africa. We want this thing to be clear. We want to empower ourselves. Sustaining organization means you got to create something to sustain yourself, so that you will not close down, so that you will be able to achieve. If I go back and ask many civil society in Liberia, what problem have you solved? What is sustaining you? Many of all of us will close down, right? We're not going to say, oh, there's a say what's sustaining me, because the entire thing in Africa is because of our political leaders. They don't want to create a space, an opportunity where the civil society can be able to sustain itself. So what can we do as civil society? When we bring this thing out, people will come to you who will be part, are getting to be part of what we're doing. And you yourself, because of your notion of come to civil society, you destroy your good opportunity because somebody told you something, because that is the bottom line of civil society in Liberia. Come because you want to grab. Come because you got international support. Come because you got, if you have that mentality, you always fail. Because we have been there. We know. There are people that will connect to that for years, but where are they? Are they supporting us? Organization? No. You got to sustain yourself. That mentality must be in. When you come in with that kind of thing, you always fail, because that means we're all them. You will not stand because you can't do what you are doing. That's why being legalized, we want to make sure to protect our image, to protect our institution. Anyone that comes in, by the time we observe that you come in with different intention, just get out, because we don't need to beg you. We don't need to beg anybody to be part of what we're doing. We need to encourage you so that you can make a change in your society, so that we can make a change in those mentality we have as civil society, as church leaders. We need to make that change. That's what we are teaching. That's why we are opening the eyes of our people, because many people are blind. We go to the place called the building. We are the church, but we call ourselves, we go to that church, and we remain the home that we're supposed to build the altar is vulnerable with curses, with lies, with hypocrisy. Civil society that we need to build, in other words, to hold government accountable. We allowed for actually political leaders to tell, oh, my man, come join our political party, my man, we'll help your civil society group when we get power. And you start to use yourself against a government that is doing well for the people, the very people that you say, hey, no, you came as a civil society to help. You see what happening? You see how they can destroy civil society in Africa? Come help me in the political, my man, I will help you. You don't mind those people, man. You are not organized as a civil society leader to go and join any political party. Let me be clear to any civil society leader that join a political party, you finish. Because you're going to get loyalty to that party, even though the party is saying lies. Even though that individual who you trying to support, he trying to take power, thinking that the people stupid. Liberians are not fool again. So we got to come now to understand the political rhetoric have been going on since the 1980s. Some of us were young. Now we are getting old. We see now that while Liberia was down, while Liberia had problem when it comes to development, the old man that is there, he taking the veto power because he been there and he sees all the loopholes, the lie, the political games. That's how some of us who been in civil society, in church leadership, we see all the lies with many of our pastors and bishops, and some of us who are prophets lie. We came to the thing because we want to grab. We don't even believe in Jesus Christ. This is something that we need to say. It's facts. We are not in this thing because we want to get rich. We can create to get. So we shouldn't be in something because when it doesn't come, we can still stand. We can still stand. That's why we are entrusting and trust, so that they can be strong and know that what they are coming into as a travel around the world, they will grab good experience to change their communities. Let's stop this too much greediness. And I'm going to be refronting many of us here. I can look in your face and tell you, because you're not feeding me. If I go hungry, it doesn't mean I will die. But this is a fact. We've been in it too long. This is a shame to our political leaders. When things are going right, say it. Don't lie. Because you want to think that the people will think they will change leader for you to come to power. Those things, people have destroyed people's life because they want to play trick with government, that the government is not doing well. Think people dying, people doing that. Those things have been exposing a lot of people. God will begin to fight for us. But we got to take a stand as civil societies. I'm not breaking in when it comes to civil society because I've been there, I'm there, I work in Liberia, I went to meeting, we sign paper, we eat chicken, we go back, we eat chicken for a year, nothing achieved. Most of civil society broke down because no support. Go join political party, promote them, and at the end of the day, you don't got no support from them because why? They didn't win election. Some of them won election that you stay down. So I don't care what you do. Let empower the people. That is our advocacy. Let the people be educated how to vote. If we believe in justice, peace, and equality, we're raising massive awareness when it comes to electoral votes, because that is responsibility. That is where many organizations have failed to do. We'll be educating people on the pulpit. We'll be educating people out on our advocacy when it comes to community engagement. When the wicked rule, the righteous suffer. In other words, those of us who are on the Christian side, you can't open your country for people who you help. You help them, they don't want to destroy you because you are Christian. No. Those days should be, we should open our eyes. We should open our eyes. You can't be your enemy to people who help you. No, you can't do that. Even in America. America helped a lot of people. Some of us were in countries that were having war. We came to this country here. I shed tears sometimes. We were in war, two countries. But those war, two countries were maybe Islamic or some kind of big group that is very wicked against Christians. So we came to a country that loved us. Then we tried to turn our back on the country that accepts us, and we want to make the country to be like a place where people just do anything. You see what's going on? So when people accept you, you must have conscience to know that if you would have died in that war, that in your country, you have right, but you have responsibility to make choice, to think. Nobody should fool you that you will help to leave that country of war and come to America. Do you know how many persons want to come to America? Do you know? And you want to be the same person that the enemy will use against a country that help you to take you from a place to safe haven, so that your life can improve. Some of us were nothing. Nobody know of or anywhere. We came to this country here. Rights and responsibility. And then people come out to back people who are against the very country that make them to be somebody today. Look, I can share tears for people. Those are ignorance. It's wrong. We need to begin to advocate for the right thing. I can't, nobody will help me. Then the same person that helped me, I go in and I want to destroy their life. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's not right. I see it all over the world. I see people having, they want to bring different kind of religions in a people country that they call you to come to take refuge. I'm sorry. We need to educate the world. We need to educate the world. This is not good. Live together in peace. It's not good. Let's go back to Liberia as I conclude. We came from a country that have a rich culture. We on Facebook, we have privilege. We came to America. Some of us, we've been here they put our been here for more than 10, 15, 20 years. Their message for you too. Ask yourself sometime. Political party will not help us. It have never helped us and will never help us. Those people that want to be in position, they're spending money, they want to put in themselves on Facebook, they want to go to position, so they're lying on Facebook because they feel that when they win election, they are going to be in position. So they will be lying against a government that will be doing good. Open your eyes. See what is going on. Nobody can fool me because I know what I went through, and I know our father was killed. We never saw his body. So even when somebody come out on Facebook and confess that kind of thing, it gave some trauma. I never lay out on my father's body. May his soul rest in peace. But we did not take people at heart. We walked through our own life we went through strong with our mother. Today, thank God we stay alive. So we need to look at those things. Let us not let anybody. Liberia is getting on the right path. When it comes to demolishing the people's houses, demolition is something that goes on because of legal process and all that. Some political leaders are taking advantage. For us who are very, very clear and serious, take note very clearly. We don't just see all the demolition to be something sound. Most of the demolition that going on in Liberia is politicized. People backdate their deeds. There are people in Liberia right now. That's why when brother, how to call him, brother Darius Dillon put in this a code, clean code kind of law. That is one of the things Liberia needs to pass. Okay, you know what they're doing? If your grandfather sold a land before you were born, you came to be now, the land is a hot cake. You still got the original copy in America or somewhere. You go to the court, backdate it, go back and say, my father sold it in too cheap, because you see now that it's expensive. But remember that those people that were on that land bought it from your grandfather. The court, which are dubious, some of them as alleged, some of the guys who are sitting on the bench, thank God for firm. Many of us came to this law called loyal. We are in the court. We are not being just to one another. It's wrong. You can't sit somewhere and know that you have 2, 3 deeds puppeted in one court for one land. That's why the land dispute is so much in Liberia. So the clean court will be very, very good for Liberia. Once you are live on that land, you didn't do nothing after 10 years, that land for you. You can't be in America sitting here, somebody finish building a house, you don't tell them, then soon the person finish, then a new government can, you go in the court and you say, I'm gonna move them. You know how many person you're gonna take for, you're gonna destroy their life? So you know what the political people are doing? And that's why we're here. Political people, we look at this guy, Uri just destroyed properties, very brilliant property that were bought, and he sat down, the person built their houses there. Now, because he was causing the very boycott. Look, people not careful how to see political leaders who are very envious, who want to see government down, who think that by doing this thing, it will make the government to feed, to people to feed that the government is not in their interest. Let us be careful, Liberians. This same man insulted the Omen boycott in the second term. We are very careful as a civil society group. That's why we don't want to side, but we'll keep record and be very serious about our country. The same man. So you think that the demolition he's doing, he is saying to himself, and you put a man there will destroy your horses here for you to know that the man is not a good leader. The same man said the man was not good. So do you want to accept anything good from these people? No. Another guy who want to be president, you know what he said on his day about it? That Baraka was going to win elections. Baraka is in seat. What you expect from these people? We got to be careful. As Liberians, we are going through too much in our country. Especially the poor people who, they use us. Jesus, help us. They use us to go in the sun and the rain to vote for them, and they don't do anything for us. Then when good government comes to try to do something, they want to act like the small one that is not done, or some other thing that it can't, not possible, no government is perfect. They want to use it. Every small thing, opposition use it against government, and we are not smart. We want to think that, well, the government is not doing, yeah, oh yeah, you see how they're breaking people's house down. No. Be careful. Be careful. Let us be careful. Why it is true that more than how many years, I know have some ability to 0.35% out of each gallon of gas. Nobody talk about it. Nobody. It was in heading. That's the same man want to be president. Can you imagine that? Are you serious? Are you serious to come to leadership after you have done those things to the Liberian people? Then what will you do when you come there? Ever. I know Liberian thinking. Think about the first thing Liberians should understand. Go back and think about everybody, their religious connection, their probably their corruption. Let us trace people by taking good look. Let us not just put representative in the seat this time. Because representatives are the people that are making the laws. They are the people that make us most of the things that happen in Africa. It comes from the representatives. Because they can hold the president, they can pinch him, they can do anything. Africa needs to think that this time, man, Liberians should not think on anything. Let's go back, check our records, understand no political games. Let us not give credence to these things. Check and see. I was watching the Minister of Justice. I was watching I followed all of them. The water and seawall, the electricity. Look at what is happening in Liberia. Never since after the war. Places have been occurring. Never after the war. Roads. Are you serious? Liberians? Any country that is serious. Any president that is serious. They begin with development. Roads. With all roads, you cannot fulfill anything. When you have roads, you can develop. You can live anywhere. You can have access to things. And that's what the enemies are playing with. That's what the enemies are playing with. We need to advocate, yes. We need to hold government accountable. But we need to understand that we need all these things to happen. Why it is truth? Civil society leaders rise up. It is time, and we have no time to justify that we are good, we are diplomatic, and we don't need to come on face with the talk. We can just read out. You're not doing right for yourself. You're not doing right for the Liberian people. You can be one of the biggest civil society leader, and you think that just by going to the president office or going on a cover and to give letter to somebody, then that means you'd read it in the interest of the Liberian people. No, that is not an indicator. The world is going on in this direction to showcase. Thank God, even government plays letters, displays letters on Facebook that when they write certain thing, when they get remember why. Facebook is an open place. Why were you as a civil society leader who want to make change in your society go on a cover and just give letter to somebody, no proof whether you went after it, whether it was a letter that were addressing the interest of the people? We need to hold civil society accountable, because no more we're going to be on the fence for people to use our Liberian children and people to suffer all the time. In Africa, we need to rise up. All over the world, we need to understand that this is not about politics. This is about that good governance. This is about life, about people. You cannot go in a man who treats you right, who brought you to that country, and you want to turn against them. You cannot. You should not. Let's pray for our government. Let's pray for our children. Let's pray for our women. Let's pray that justice will be actually fulfilled on the life and against our daughter and our sister who have left this world because of domestic violence, or maybe as a lad or something that happened somewhere around the line. Let fair play be played. I want to call on civil society. We are all in this together. But remember that you have responsibility to make choice. The choice that we made, for me, I make the choice ever since. I choose to stand firm, despite support. Many of us on this Facebook, even surrounding my own people that are closer to me, how many of us gave to the society too much? I want to thank God for my board members, my board chair, all of us. Thank God for those people who are holding this thing strong. Why? Because it is because of them that I can rise up sometimes to say, yes, I have people on my back. Even some of them who are not even ready doing something, but because their presence make me to say, yes, I can go. And I want to say to all pastors and leaders, rise up. Let us not be despised. Let us not overlook ourselves. All Liberians, let us not look at our country to be insignificant, whereas our country is a beacon. I'm going to be talking about the book, Liberia, the beacon of Africa. We are the beacon. Those big countries you see, they were colonized. They were colonized while we were the independents. It is those countries that are supposed to measure with Liberia, despite our size. It's almost like somebody teaching you for 100 years and they building your country. And we were building our own country independently. Then they want to start comparing Liberia with other countries. How can you compare with Western world that took over country and for years? We were at the UN table right there advocating for all African nations. Let us not despise ourselves. That's why one of the Liberian, a lady who seems to be famous, people follow her too well. Some people have opportunity, people follow them, and they are not educated. Their own country, they start to put other country up and say, oh, how we insult Ghana? Ghana, our people, Ghana is no big brother to us. We are the big brother of Ghana. We are the big brother. Ghana, you go Google it, Ghana, they will tell you, Ghana is not big brother to us. Despite the size, we have our independence before Ghana, before Nigeria, all the countries around us. So tell me, we sat on the UN table to advocate for them because the people are jealous of that small country of our country, so they cannot give the education by right. All countries in Africa are supposed to educate their children. They're supposed to have education on the foundation of Africa. But why? They refuse. One of the good African brother came out and he was crying. He said, we beg you, Liberians, we will respect you. Why? Because he saw the truth. Let us not despise ourselves. We are reached to the place as Liberians. Where Liberians are, I will tell anybody, as a pastor and as an advocate. The president that we have, I will tell you the truth, I saw it in my own dream. I saw it before 2017 that that man was a different man. Today, I will not fool anybody. Don't go around the presidency until the man say, I'm tired. I will tell you the truth. Why? Because you can see. You can see it. What we should be praying for is if any representative that is not representing our country, that is against good things to happen, go and vote them out. Because you are the power. You got, we're not going to talk this thing here because that is going to be our teaching. We're going to teach people, we're going to tell people take responsibility. You have rights to vote, but you have right to make a good choice to vote. You don't put people into to represent you that will be insulting all over Facebook, acting like some mental illness. We don't do that in our communities. We got to put people who will serve us. So civil society need to raise more awareness, more teaching. Even if no resources, come, let's talk about it. That's why the community engagement is saying, let's engage, let's talk, come together, let's talk. How can we be sustained? That's why many people don't understand. And I'm not going to brag with anybody on Facebook. I'm not going to brag with any organization, whether you have an MOU. MOU is optional. Because maybe your MOU go into MOU, but you don't know why MOU, what is MOU, and you don't know what you're supposed to think on when you come in to do an MOU. And especially with men like me, I'm not one of these sycophants, pastor, or maybe civil society leader. I'll tell you straight, if you're not prepared to stand for your people in your community, don't come around me to be your civil society to work with me because I'm not going to work with you. I'm not. Because maybe you're only doing it because you want to build your own institution and there's your self-accomplishment. Forget it. I'm not sycophantic. And I want to say it here. The reason why I'm here, and I want to clarify to all of us, join us, let's make a difference in our society. But don't join up with motives to come to think that, well, you're coming to play on somebody's mind. No, don't worry about that. Any institution or individual that join us, if you're not coming on social media with us, if you're not associating with what we're doing, don't join us because I'm not going to have interest in you. Because I don't want to hide anything when it comes to presenting the reality of what is happening in our communities. Social media is a place where people take quick the information. I know Javi is a liar. Oh, I know that woman lied. She took money from her and she said she was advocating for all. That man lied. Okay? So here is where the spotlight is. Somebody can say, oh yeah, I know Javi. Javi used to go in the corner to my sister. Oh yeah, I know him. Here. So let us not, why it is true we are not perfect, why it is true that we're working on our perfection, let us do the right thing in order to change our community, our government, hold our government accountable. We will not be afraid for us to stand for the truth. When people are wrong, nothing can change it. It is open, it is there. You can see the fact that they are wrong. The only thing is, let us approach it maturely. Let us not be immature in order to present it. That's why we are protecting the institution. No way here at the community engagement level that anybody will tell, oh, we are unprofessional. We're dealing with everything professionally. And that's why we are building a professional organization that is going to engage both in person and here in the whole social media to place things up there. When we say we are presenting a petition to government, we are going to put it on Facebook. We're going to put it on social media to show that if the president did not receive it, the president will see it. That's what social media is for. So any civil society leader, don't lie to nobody that you are professional or you're diplomatic. You're not diplomatic more than us. I graduated from the United States Institute for Diplomacy and Human Rights. And I'm closer to that institution. I served as the regional director for 1 or 2 years. And I know that nobody will tell me about diplomacy. I read a book on diplomacy. Okay, and that book is also going to be part of, it's going to be on the store. So I'm saying to us, why it is truth that we are fighting this thing, we must come together to work it. That's why we're using our hand, we use our brain. If nobody help us, one day we have a grant, we have greater big opportunity here that we know will help a lot of people. But that should not be the priority. The priority should be passion. I call upon those of us who are human rights leaders. Well, eat a piece of bread. We went in the toilet, man. I count the rice bags. I can count all the things. But I can still say, Jarvis, how much I gave you 3 years ago? Or what did we do with all the rice we ate? It's gone. People will give you rice. Christmas came, people gave me rice. But where's the rice? Those yellow machine that came to Liberia, you can see it, right? But if they're going to use that money, that's why many of the political leaders, when it's soon they talk against the other machine, Liberians should open their eye now to know that the only thing they are interested in is to build their mansions and forget about the real thing that Liberia needs. And the president that is doing it, somebody will come against him. Then you civil society leaders sit on the fence and say, yeah, they are right. Or yeah, let them talk. I'm a civil society. You are civil society to defend the people's rights. The good thing that is happening, you're not civil society to sit on the fence. You didn't create that civil society group that you say you have, not to solve problems. You create that civil society group to solve problems. How will you solve the problem? When you have bad governance, when you have people confusing our political land fee in order for things to low land, nothing happening. Then you come back, you choose a lot of people put them in the house because of party sentiment. So they will come against a good leader that wants to change our country or that community. That's what's been happening in our country. This time is a lie. We are going to educate our people. We are going to tell them the right thing. We're going to send them to resources that they can look for in order to keep themselves going, to sustain themselves, so that nobody will play on civil society. The civil society group that want to be part of us. Remember, you are autonomous. You are not, I'm not, we don't have control over you. We have our ambassadors in country. Liberia ambassador will be named that will control Liberia. So having an MOU doesn't make you to have autonomous over us or we over you. No. You have your own institution. We got nothing to do with your institution. We only got something to do with the MOU, which is optional. Let us not do things like if to say we don't know what we're doing. Let us do things like we understand why we're doing it. That is it. Autonomous means you have everything to do for yourself. You can make decisions to change your bylaw and constitution. Community engagement is a global institution that is international, working with you. Whatever area we're able to help one another and to change, exchange technology, give in donations or whatever thing that we have. If we have access to those things, which we are talking about, that's what we are saying. The time for civil society to depend only on donors, to sit down and wait for donors is finished. On the side of the community engagement, we are saying no. We want donors to help us, but want to tell donors, look, get all this machine. Want to make things to happen for our organization so that we can sustain our organization to fulfill our mission. That's why we want to teach people in civil society. That's why we want to teach people. Because maybe we are broken. Churches, we are broken because of that. We are not sustained. And once you are not sustained means you're not getting support. You're only waiting for support. Then of course you will die. And that's why bad government don't want for civil society to do. No bad government, no good government want for civil society to die. Good government want for civil society to be strong because it will also balance their works. It will help government to achieve its goals. If I play my role to build a school, help government. If I play a role to build a vocational school, it help government. If I play a role to tell government, Lord, look, I got 5 wells that were not built. The money is there. What is the money? And I highlight it. Okay, if government failed to take action, government violate the rights of the people. I'm supposed to hold them accountable. I'm not supposed to take money to bribe me to stop talking. That's why we want to teach him. Most of the civil society, we've been sitting on the fence. The money that we gave us to eat, we go in the toilet, we build our houses, it will only be for our children and us. Because most of us, that's why we come to these things. Let us erase it. On the side of the civil society, when it comes to community engagement, we are not just a civil society. We are on mission. We are on an assignment. That's the difference between. So don't take us that we want to act like we. No. We are on the mission. We're on an assignment. We are different because of the experience we went through, because of what we already know, how civil society dies, how people destroy civil society. People come in, attack us from the board level, from all level, to destroy our institution because they see that if it continues, it's going to destroy the wicked people in our society. It's going to stop the wicked people from excelling. It's going to stop the community from developing. But when we put our feet down, our people, the poor people, will realize their country is good. Let us all do it together. Let us all do it together. Let the poor, the old lady in the village experience electricity in the house. That's her benefit. She was born in that country. Let the little children go to school and sit on good benches and experience good learning with technology. That's what we're advocating for. Let every child that was born have benefit for their life when they get old. If we didn't receive it, it doesn't mean we can't advocate for it. That's where we are. Thank God for the government again. That I think they just started that program starting for July, something like that, and it's going to continue. That money goes in the account of every child that will be born because we want to increase the population of Liberia because people have been aborting. We just saw two child lying down somewhere in New Jersey, somewhere a pregnant woman in 7 months old destroyed them. Two kids that have future were destroyed because of poverty, right? But if that woman had an opportunity, even somebody deny her pregnancy, she would be happy. Yeah, in America, when people are pregnant, oh, I was driving one time, and I'm gonna share that experience from somewhere that I was coming from doing something, and I was driving, and and this woman, my car just, it was in it. It was a snow time, so my car twisted a little bit and went on the other side, and was trying to show me it was just great. I controlled it some kind of way. It was only by God's grace, and this lady came up. Oh, you want to kill my child? This woman, oh, you were pregnant. I was then silent because that's all right. You see that? That's all right. When the people are carrying something in their stomach here, they will protect it. In Liberia, in Africa, when a woman is pregnant, she's worrying about how she will eat. She don't want to carry something. We need to begin to make our women happy. We need to begin to make them to feel that they are citizens of their country. A good hospital. Look at the good hospital that we see that the government is building. Never in our country that we have to have referral to go to places to go and do operation in Ghana. Are you serious? We are the first nation in Africa. That's why we continue to pray for this government. Look, we that's why we don't want to politicize it, but we want to hold our government accountable. Right? That's who we are. Let us not forget. That's what God has called us to do. And it's not about politics, it's about the reality. When you hold your government accountable, then of course, you are telling your government, we know our rights, our responsibility. We continue to be the facts. And I want to thank God for you guys, man, and think that, well, okay, we can do it together, brother or sister, whatever you think, that is not working in your organization. Let's talk about it. It is not about, I don't have money. I don't have no ring. Yeah, I agree. I don't have any of the thing that you will think, but I have good things coming up. We can work together to change. We can work together to build that business for your institution to be self-sustaining. So that when you're speaking on Facebook or when you go to a place or occasion to speak, you are speaking without fear. Why? Because that's why you were built for. That's why you were organized for, to advocate for that woman who are abused, who rights were abused, who will become actually a violation when government failed to take action because civil society failed to take action. Because you put people into offices that don't respect the people's right. Let us begin to learn and put people into offices that respect our people's right, and we change our society and live a better life. Guys, and I think say to ourselves, well done, and let's continue